Please remain standing for the posting and presentation of our colors.
Right wheel. March. Color guard. Out. Present. Arms.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the land was white. For the prize we won, we're so glad it's free.
Order. Arms. Post. Post. About face. Go. Left wheel. March. Forward. March.
You may be seated. Good evening. My name is Leandus Fair Jr., and I'm the principal of Rocky Mount High School. I would like to take this time to introduce our special guests. They are Superintendent, Dr. Anthony Jackson, Members of the Nash Rocky Mountain, Board of Education, Mrs. Bonnie Batts, Mrs. Deneva Chavis Battle, Mr. Michael Grover II, Mr. John Hardy, and Mr. Reginald Silvers. From Nash Rocky Mountain Senior Staff, Dr. Eric Cunningham, Associate Superintendent, Mr. Thomas Crabtree, Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Michael Hodges, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Robin May, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Susan Blackwell, Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Jane Finch, Chief Technology Officer, and Ms. Patricia Hollingsworth, Chief Public Information Officer. I would also like to recognize Rocky Mount High School Assistant Principals, Mrs. Shanda Battle, Ms. Jennifer Sharp, Nash Central High School Administrators, Mrs. Gail Powers, Principal, Mrs. Brenda Flora, Mr. Darren Jimsit, and Mr. Michael Gerard. Northern Nash High School Administrators, Mr. Chad Thompson, Principal, Mrs. Debbie Height, Mrs. Rhonda Lamb, and Mr. Craig Tefford. Southern Nash High School Principal, Dr. Mark Cockrell. If we have any dignitaries from the community here with us today, we want to take this time to say thank you for being here. Your sons and daughters have reached a major milestone in their life, and this ceremony today represents a great accomplishment in their educational career. Therefore, it is the expectation of Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools Board of Education to have a graduation ceremony that is carried out with dignity and formality. You and your graduate have invested a tremendous amount of time, effort, and money to reach this point. We feel that we owe you an impressive and dignified ceremony. In order to do this, we need your help and cooperation. I humbly and sincerely ask that you refrain from clapping, cheering, shouting, calling out names, standing, and whistling during the ceremony. If you do this, you will be asked by an administrator to leave the premises. If you refuse to leave, then you will be asked by the police officer standing on duty to leave the building. This type of behavior is distracting and it causes other parents to not hear their student's name when it is called. Each parent deserves the right to hear their child's name without interruptions or distracting comments. We simply want to provide you with the best graduation ceremony possible. Once all names have been called, you may celebrate and cheer like champions. At this time, I would like to go back and thank or present to you Mr. John Williams. I forgot to call his name. He is the principal of Tar River Academy. So please accept my apologies, Mr. Williams. At this time, I would like to present to you Mr. Leroy Hartsfield, our commencement speaker for the evening. Mr. Hartsfield came to Nash Rocky Mount Schools in 1989 as an assistant principal at Southern Nash Junior High. He worked his way to becoming a principal at Nash Central Junior High School in 1997. He then became the principal of the new Nash Central High School in 2002. He was principal there until 2010. Mr. Hartsfield then moved to the district level as an assistant superintendent of student services for 3 years, until his retirement in June of 2013. At this time, I present to you Mr. Leroy Hartsfield.
Dr. Jackson, Nash Rocky Mount board members, Nash Rocky Mount administrators, teachers, parents, and most importantly, graduates. If you are wondering if my message is going to be long, you don't need to worry. I am going to be short. I told someone when I came in, I'm going to be like the relationship Elizabeth Taylor had with her husband, short. So this will be short. We are here to recognize you for your accomplishments in completing your requirements to graduate from high school. While this milestone, hopefully, is one of many you aspire, it is worthy of recognition in special ways. It is special because you didn't give up or quit when spring graduation passed by and your number was not in the mix. You didn't quit. And I know you had to accept the predicament was by your own doing. And the fix for that predicament, you had to decide how you're going to fix it. It is evident that you chose to fix it by your attendance in summer school. Each of you have had a few hurdles along the way that required extended time to complete this requirement. I suspect that many factors took place, but I suspect attendance was one of the factors. It normally is. I have personally known seniors who would quit when they found out that they would not be in the number during the spring graduation ceremony. I can recall a case in particular of a young lady that I worked with when I was principal at Nash Central High School, who within 2 weeks of graduation, she had an attendance problem and she had violated the district attendance policy. And I said to her, I will cut a deal with you. If you don't miss another day out of school, I will see that you graduate with your class. She missed the next day of school. And she quit and she became a dropout. She later got her GED, and I've seen her from time to time. She regret that she did not finish and do what was supposed that she needed to do to graduate on time. So I want to thank you for being resilient and completing your studies. That is very, very important. Also, this is a special day because of your parents investing in you and making sure that you had what you need to have over a period of time. I am sure they gave you a lot of encouragement. They have made sacrifices. They have only asked of one thing of you, I would think. They probably asked that you would go to school and be happy. But one of the things that they gave you also is they gave you love. And this love was unconditional. They didn't have any requirements on this love that they would give you because you're their children. And they want you to be happy, and I know that without a doubt. I hope that you will express some degree of appreciation and gratitude towards your parents for all that they have done for you. Today's recognition is also special for your classmates. And I'm speaking about your classmates that graduated in the spring. It's also special for your teachers, principals, and especially for the Nash Rocky Mount school system. I worked in the Nash Rocky Mount school system for 24 years. We have never done a graduation in the summer for graduates. So this is a very special recognition for you, set aside for you this evening. And like I said, this is the first time we've done this. We typically in the summertime would let you finish your requirements, call you by the office, give you your diploma, give you a little pep talk, and send you on your way. So to be sitting here this evening with a ceremony just like the traditional schools had, the early college had, and alternative school is very, very, very special. I hope that you will show some degree of appreciation for your principals at your respective schools. At some point, they do deserve some type of recognition, appreciation as well. Because I know without a doubt they tried to motivate you. I know your counselors tried to motivate you. And they even motivated you when you defied motivation. The question each of you must answer now, though, is what are you going to do next that you're a high school graduate? All of the years from preschool until today have been filled with a routine that afforded you a daily schedule when it came to school. The fall is coming, so what will you do, or better still, what will you do tomorrow? I hope you have a plan that will provide structure and a goal to be reached. The diploma you will receive shortly is the exit ticket from your formative K-12 education. You may have decided to continue with higher education, enlist in the military, or go to work. Some of you may already have a job where you have limited hours and no benefits. Let me say that again to you. Limited hours and no benefits. You know, entry-level jobs are great, and I call entry-level jobs like at McDonald's and all those places. Those are great jobs to be, but they should be just entry-level, unless you plan on going into management or something along those lines. As I said earlier, you need to have something that's going to provide some structure and for you down the road. Your future success will be based on what you do. You have an array of opportunities to pursue whatever dream you may have. And there are people who will help you. The difference now, though, is your self-motivation, because after today, the people who gravitate toward you will only come if they believe you are putting forth a sustainable effort. You have received a solid education foundation to move in the direction each of you desire. You will have in your hands a high school diploma that carries the same weight as the one your classmate received a few weeks ago. I know you already know what some of your classmates are going to do. Guess what? They won't know what you're going to do too. Are there any challenges in front of you? It is a resounding yes. There are some challenges. First of all, please pay attention to what is happening in your community, state, and world. There are many positive things occurring, but there are negatives as well. Both can affect you based on the choices that you make. And just remember, behind every choice, there is a consequence. And that consequence can either be good or bad. It also goes to this thinking about priorities and making sure you have your priorities in order. Because sometimes we get our priorities out of sync and we decide something that is not really important when really we should be thinking about something that really is important. And I'm sure you've probably heard that before. Your parents may have said to you from time to time, you don't have your priorities in order. You want to do this and you want to do that. But you're at the stage now you need to get your priorities in order. You will have some more bumps, hurdles, trials, and tribulations along your journey. Not because you're a young person, but because as older people, we still have trials and tribulations too. So you're going to have some more. But how you deal with those trials and tribulations is important. I am a firm believer that you should spend your time on solutions and not spend your time on the problem. Because when you spend a lot of time on the problem or blaming other people for something that comes up short, you're wasting time. Time is valuable, and it's one thing that you can't change. You can't get it back. So please take advantage of the time that you have. Another challenge, I believe, is competition. And competition is a good thing. But there are people who are seeking the same thing you are. You must be prepared to show why you are better, qualified, and have more to offer. Competition is going to require more education and technical skills. Education is the ticket to help you have a chance of living a good life. Say that again. Education is the ticket of you having a good chance of having a good life. While we emphasize the importance of education, all of us up here, and having skills to navigate in the world we live, I believe you must know how to relate and to get along with other people as well. You got to know the difference between independence and interdependence. The difference between independence and interdependence, you got to know the difference. The bottom line is you got to be good at something. And there is a quote by Dr. Seuss that I want to share with you. It basically says you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You're the one who decide where to go. I say to each of you, dream big, look forward, reflect often, make your parents proud, but the proudest person should be you. Good luck and best wishes.
Will the candidates for graduation from Nash Central High School please stand? Christopher Jason Devers. Sharika Lachey Demery.
Will the candidates for graduation from Northern Nash High School please stand? Corey Nicholas Hart. Jose Abraham Pacheco Olvera. Daniel Wade Peel II.
Will the candidates for graduation from Rocky Mount High School please stand? Lanasia Tiara Simone Arrington. Micaiah Tiana Barnes. Sergeant McNeil Cooper. Kivia Nicole John Lewis. Quashana Lashai Lynch. Kalia Chandrell Millette. Jasmine Renee Moore. Jeremy Russell Parker. Joey Pope. Barry Wayne Sutton. Wayne Najee Walton Jr. Sharonda Monique Williams.
Would all of our graduates please stand? By the power vested in me by the Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools Board of Education, the state of North Carolina, I now pronounce you graduates, each of Nash Central High School, Northern Nash High School, and Rocky Mount High School, with all rights and privileges afforded thereby. You may now turn your tassels. I would ask the class to turn around. I present to you the class of 2014.